Yo, what's good, everybody? Happy Friday. It's Feedback Friday. We made it through another week, or most of the way through another week. How many of you are at work and you're supposed to be working? Raise your hand. I don't know that we have much in the way of updates. I can show you guys the most current state of the new Sounds app, which you all will be enjoying soon. I'll get you guys all into the early beta. Everybody who is interested, get early access to thousands of sounds and stuff. Let's go do that. Let's go take a look. Where are we here? Okay, let's just click around a couple of times because it's been beta. Get back in here. Okay. Hey, it's starting to... Our new list is in here. Hey, great. Good snappy. Great. Nice and zippy today. Good, good, good. Excellent. Are these playing? They're playing today. Okay, that's good. Sound gen is in here. Stem splitting is in here. Purchase tracking, playlist, excellent, excellent. Everything's responding nicely today. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing out there? If you're here for feedback, definitely drop your links in the Discord. Oops, I have to spell it correctly for that trigger to work. You're looking for the public feedback channel to drop your links in. First come, first serve. So we will listen to you guys in the order in which you arrive. And as per our usual, one piece of feedback per person, unless it's not a super heavy day, and then I'm totally fine with you guys tossing in a second one. Totally fine with that. All right. What do we need to do here? We need to go to Discord and get our notepad ready. What has everybody been working on this week? Besides some new music. Oh, I will say, before we start jumping into stuff, let me just jump over to Slack really quick. And everyone who is currently interested in getting the early beta access to the new Sounds app and all the tools that come with it, I'm going to give you a little invite link here. Thank you, Errol. Oh, it's this is actually part of the music. You could grab this here. Here, let me put the link here. All right, so everybody who is interested in getting early beta access to the new Sounds app, hit that link. This is going to be the public Slack for Audio Design Desk in general, right? But we will be making the announcement there when and where you can download the app for free or access the website for free. So everybody who's interested, click that link. You can share it amongst your friends if you like. It's not like a super top secret thing, but it will be limited access for everybody in the beginning. So peeps here that are interested are more than welcome to join. Erldville, this is, you were asking about the music. This music's coming out of Audio Design Desk. It's music that we've made for the library. So you can actually find all of this music and all of the 70,000 plus sounds that we've made and recorded and whatnot for it soon. It'll be out soon. It will also be embedded inside of Audio Design Desk. It will actually replace the traditional sound pack manager that we have in here, which is totally outdated. So this badass thing is going to be living inside of Audio Design Desk for us. And it will come complete with stem splitting capability. So if you find something in the marketplace that you like, but you only like part of it, you can drop it into the stem splitter and Bob's your uncle. You can generate, remix, extend, right? So you like something that you found, but you want it to be in some kind of a different timbre or go in a different direction. You can use SoundGen to help you do that. We'll have a bunch of new ways to browse. Like, for instance, let's say you're working on a project and it has a certain kind of feel to it, right? You just take a picture, literally just take a screenshot of the moment that you're working on and literally just drop it in here and we will show you sounds that are going to work with that. It's going to be very, very cool. It's not going to be your typical sound pack marketplace kind of experience. So think of like when we first introduced ADSR and how awesome it was to get sounds from all of the people that had been making stuff behind the scenes all that time, but you didn't know their names or whatever. This is going to be the same thing, but specifically like focused on sound design and production for screen, right? So deep cinematic stuff, very kind of emotionally deep and visceral stuff, plus all of the sound effects and Foley your heart has ever desired. So that's the plan. Again, follow the link if you want to join the public Slack. We'll be making our announcement there. I will also let you guys know here in live streams and drop links. So, oh, Scruffy, this is the best news all day. Rich is saying, I've started a new website that is focused on wellness, well-being, using ambient work and soundscapes. Going to get people to stream or buy the audio, and money raised will go to a mental health charity. Dude, I freaking love you, man. That's wonderful. That's so good. That's so good. I freaking love our community. You know what I mean? So many good people. So many talents. We're all kind of doing our part to make it all better, right? All right, so the best part about all of this is that it gets you access to stuff that largely, by and large, like you've been kind of priced out of or don't have access to the right folks or the right places because of gatekeeping and stuff. So we have a completely different model for everybody to enjoy. And I really, really do hope that they do. It's going to go something like this. If you're walking in off the street, you could buy a pack. You like a pack, buy it. Totally. You don't have to like join anything or anything. Just like take out your money and boom, walk away with your sound pack. And that's totally great. And you're probably going to get those sounds at a more affordable price than you would elsewhere, which is great. It's a nice little transaction. And have a great day. But there's a whole plethora of tools and capabilities and connections within this thing. It connects to different things in pretty amazing ways. And it's going to evolve very quickly. And if you subscribe, if you join, right, as a member, like similar to the way you would join Splice, all of a sudden, everything just becomes this one ubiquitous value, regardless of what it is, right? So you can get like super awesome, totally impressive Hollywood sound for a token, right? The same way that you would get a kick drum on Splice for a token. So that's the concept, and the kind of benefits just kind of cascade from there, like as a user, because the concept here is, again, just like the other projects from the past, is like disrupt and create a sea change event. So there we go. That's what it's going to be. All right. Stay tuned for more on that. And let's get into some sounds. I'm sure you guys have been making really good stuff this week. So let's go check it out. I'm going to hit pause on this and hit the Discord. Yeah. Public feedback. Hey, Rich, please spam the chat with your links and like periodically, so we are all aware as people come and go throughout the stream. And feel free to post the link in the Discord. I'm good with it. This is all good. It's great stuff. Okay. So Rich, like 2 weeks ago or so, something like that, posted something to public collaboration saying that, hey, if anyone is out there and likes this track, wants to collaborate, I'm here. And now he's back saying, now this is the track. I was looking for a collab with someone. Thought I better get some feedback. Feel free to skip the section after 439. That final bit is for an optional extended mix I'm working on. This is another track from the live set for next year. Ooh. Still in demo mode at the moment. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Can we take a look at? Like, is that good? We can do that. Let's just take a look. Feel the music. Experience the sounds. Yeah. Love that. What a lovely project. What a lovely project. Chat and Strategy, welcome in. Happy Friday. I was just checking out a new website that Scruffy Rico is working on. It's a new project aimed at helping people calm the F down and chill out and decompress a bit and perhaps reconnect with themselves. It's a cool thing. All right, so the first track of the day is from Scruffy Rico. This is one for the new live set for next year. Scruffy Rico, please explain what your project is in the chat, and we'll listen to this. Dude, the palette of this one is really great. The low end is awesome. The texture running through the plucks and the pads are great. Your stopping points with your reverb and delays is really choice. It's all really good. It's all really good. When the first hats hit, I want to go back and find a timestamp for you. I was busy paying attention on the other screen with the chat. It wasn't the hats. It was just the first perks. It was these sticks, which I love. Now I don't feel the same way. After hearing the full mix, the first time through, it felt a little bit abrupt to me because I hadn't fully been indoctrinated to the whole palette experience. So now I feel a little bit differently about that. First time through, it felt a little abrupt. Kind of wondering about the hats in general as I'm listening through this. They kind of feel like they might be one of the kind of strongest candidates for another long form modulation running through this thing. Just a little bit of filter control on it over time. I think it'd feel really nice. It would be cool to have one other thing to track with like some long form change. Maybe just some subtle saturation on the low end, maybe. Because there are some moments where, man, when it comes back in from being gone for just a minute, it really hits, right? And if there was just a subtle saturation swell that kind of peaked right at that moment and started dipping, so then it's able to kind of fall into the background a little bit more easily, right? And be more supportive at the end of that swell. I just feel like it would all feel like emotionally really, really super tight there. Really good stuff. Love it. Chad Strategy says, it made me think of penguins. Paul says, after Wednesday's stream, I had to swap my mains and rear speakers. PETA, of course, but done and sounding great again. Nice, Paul. Nice. Nice. So does that mean that all of your speaker work is done now? No mixing on this? No mixing on this. Yeah. Rich doesn't really mix his stuff before he drops it into feedback, which is great. Also, it kind of makes you question your own work constantly, right? You're like, oh man, this guy, he just walks right in and just like, oh, everything can be heard in the mix. It's true. That's the power of a really good palette, though. Blazing Beats is here. What's up, dude? Happy Friday to you. All right, Emre is here. Ah, excellent. Then we shall begin. Let's do this. Okay, so Omri, this is really tight, actually. I think the only real thing here, it'd be cool if there was just a little bit more crunch in the hats between like 7 and 4K, somewhere in there. 5, 6, somewhere in the middle. Little peak, nothing too big. Um, okay, so this 808, I think there's a couple of things happening. One, I think that the low end cutoff can come up. Here's what I think the EQ looks like on this thing. I think it probably looks kind of like uh, this or something. And I think what it should look like on your 808 is something more like this, a more relaxed slope. So it's not pushing the phase quite as much. And also, you can get away with bringing it up just a little bit more in general. You're going to tap down a little bit of the tallest peaks, but all of those rumble frequencies are still at a level that are easily going to be felt in the mix. What that small amount of reduction is going to do is it's going to save that amount of energy. It might seem like a very small amount of energy being spent on that really big waveform down there, but those are the lowest frequencies being worked on, and it takes the greatest amount of energy to serve them up. So you can kind of redistribute that energy if you save that. And it'll also just kind of cut down on what the other sounds are having to compete with in general. The other thing is that the distortion, the saturation that is on the 808 feels like it's targeting the entirety of the sound, that it's covering the entirety of the sound. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this, but it would be great if you were mostly just kind of targeting this audible range, right, between say like 80 and 200 or something like that, right? So that would be a really nice sweet spot, or maybe just above it. I would probably start with something really simple for this, like some overdrive. Um, and I would really try to find the best spot to avoid muddiness, but to impart a little bit of color. Um, that's going to help this thing pop in the way that it's going to feel right. I think that um, whatever's happening with the lowest frequencies is moving it away from being this smooth wave into this kind of jagged wave, right? It's harder it's harder to get past. It's creating a little bit more chaos. Okay, so the other thing is the stereo width on it. If you were to just reduce the stereo width on those lowest frequencies, right? You could do it with a mid-side EQ. Um, it could also come down to processing that's on it, like if there's a little bit of chorus on it or something like that to widen it, you just remove that. The lowest frequencies, you want to reduce on the side so you can stay focused in the middle. It's going to keep your whole track sounding really super clean, and then your 808 is just going to like fire out of the speakers like a cannon, basically, because there's not going to be anything near the edges of that to obfuscate that process, right? Actually boosted the lows, didn't cut any lows. Yeah, okay, so it's like literally the most common mistake. So, and I know it sounds a little oxymoronic, like the opposite of what you want to do, but you want to cut into the lowest frequencies oftentimes to get the audible part of the bass out. That's really the key here. So once you start to carve into that, and you can bounce a few different versions of that sound soloed or in the mix, and you can hear a pretty distinct difference as you start to cut away. What you don't want is to like neuter the sound, right? You don't want to take out too many of those low frequencies. So you'll stop, before you get to 45 hertz. I mean, in a song like this, I would keep it down 40 hertz or maybe just below. There's still going to be a ton of rumble frequency down here. And everything down here is not heard, it's just felt, right? So any of that energy that you can change down here is going to be better for you, I think. And then watch the sides. If I cut around 20, 30 hertz, Makes your 808 sound very muddy and loses character. Cut around 20 or 30 hertz. Are you doing that with a big cut like this though? Like a 48? Make sure that the rate at which you're cutting is really relaxed. I'd recommend like a 12 dB per octave curve for that. And then you can apply some saturation. And what that's going to do is going to generate these harmonics are going to ripple up through the sound. And this is the range of sound that we actually start to hear that bass. It's up here. So we're kind of redistributing this energy from down here up into here so we can kind of feel this more and hear it more. And it might take a few swings to get this right. And so that's why I suggest like bouncing as you go and listening back with like really critical ears. So if you're feeling like it's muddy, then you're not finding that sweet spot, right? The distortion, the saturation is still targeting too low on those frequencies. Is it better to do it with a curve rather than a straight line? Yes, absolutely yes. If you do it with a straight line, it cuts off frequencies and it causes a shift, a phase shift, and it makes it so you can't hear. The whole sound becomes obfuscated, which means it's being blocked, right? It sounds muddy or boxy or all sorts of stuff. So you're going to have to spend just a little bit of time with it. And start with a gentle slope, not a hard curve, or not a hard cut. Errol DeVille. You are welcome. You are welcome. Errol DeVille, it is you. Core Conjurer. Let's do this.
De Duitsers hebben UFO's.
Met welke schotel?
Met de X-28, ik ben UFO-piloot. Het was de planeet in het derde daluniversum.
Kunt u dat voor mij uitleggen, want het snap ik.
Dit.
All right. This is fun. There's a lot of really interesting and cool ideas in here. There's a lot of really good feelings associated with some of these decisions that you're making. Um, the snare in the beginning, at the very start, it feels like it has a touch too much reflectivity on it, like the size of the space, or it feels like it's reflecting too much brightness for the space that you've chosen. So if you use an EQ to tap down those top frequencies, just like this, in maybe even take it down to a 6 and just bring it down, something like that, and stick this right on the end of your EQ channel, and you would probably put the low end cut on that reverb somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in here probably. Like, you don't want any of that low end in there, I don't think, for that stuff. But yeah, just kind of taper those higher frequencies, and then the original frequencies in that space won't be reinforced too much, and it'll feel a little more natural. Where am I? Discord. Really, really great vocal sample manipulation. That was, I can't remember, probably like 120 or something. 133, fantastic use of low velocity vocal samples and the stereo field to affect the listener's sense of orientation. It's really good. It's really good. It's something that it can be really hard for some folks to find these low velocity stopping points, but sometimes the greatest impact for that type of sound and this type of mix is something that is just barely kind of scraping the surface. So good on you. The kick is great, and it also kind of wants to be played with. I feel like if you were to affect the decay on the amp envelope of that kick just slightly over time, like, put it on like a 4-bar or an 8-bar LFO, and have it. I mean, we're talking milliseconds here, difference of milliseconds, but maybe like 30 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds. Play a little bit and see what feels right. The fade out on the kick that happens here. That kind of like really reinforces my feeling that this would feel really good, because that kick gets kind of skinny in there as it disappears. Nice decision with the slowdown on the vocalization at 340. Great sense of time with the ticking and the movement through the stereo field at 4. 414, the synth is cool and can also be more well defined. I felt like it was kind of the one standout sound out of all of the sound design being presented that didn't really match up to the definition and clarity of everything else. And with everything else being so punchy and well defined, I felt that it was noticeable. So I would recommend 2 passes of saturation. One really simple, just to generate a little bit more harmonic information in there, and then one after it that's a bit more aggressive to really kind of bite into that just a little bit. And maybe just a little bit more compression to help it feel just a little bit tighter. And of course, you can adjust for loudness. Pretty much everything else is feeling really good in this. There are a couple of spots where, personally, I might cut into the low end just a little bit more to get a little less rumble and a little bit more clarity in a couple of spots. Just because everything is such rapid fire articulation at this higher BPM. So something to keep in mind moving forward in your projects. The more rapid the articulation and the more characters firing off at once in your mix, the greater the need for space down low, right? So as a mix becomes busier in general, you want to try and manage that low end a little bit more. So that kick and affecting the decay parameter would help a tremendous amount in a track like this, because it's going to reduce the kind of sustained presence of low end throughout this track just a little bit if you do that. So the whole thing will feel like it's got a little bit more of like this life force, this pulsing kind of life force. All right. Betty Games, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Oh, hey, you know what? It's my birthday in a few on Monday of next week, and I think we're going to do a special feedback stream. I know we don't normally do feedback streams on Mondays, but I think we're going to this time. And I think we're also going to have a special guest that you will enjoy having on the show. So make some more awesome stuff this weekend, everybody. Just, wave your magic wands and make extra time to make extra music, and then bring it on Monday and get super awesome feedback from two folks instead of just one. All right, Dragonleaf is up next. Lude! What's up, Ludi? How you doing? You good today? Special guest Pamela Anderson. Where that's about as left field as it gets. This one is called Infiltrator from Dragonleaf. Blazin', thank you, sir. Pamela Anderson. It's not Pamela Anderson. I won't confirm or deny if it is Elmo at this point. But you can keep guessing. Dude, this is great. There's a lot of really good feelings in this and throughout it. I love the palette. I like the mood, the aesthetic, the atmosphere that you've got going here. I really like the digital chirps. You could tighten up the EQ a little bit on the digital chirps, I think. Scoop around 350, accent around 7K, and I think they cut right through. ARP is cool, but also it kind of competes with this crushed clap, and I think it has to do with the compression. So if you were to back off the limiting just a little bit, and introduce a tighter isolation of the sounds, right? So that would mean kind of restraining the amount of operating room that the sound has, right? Like if we look at, for instance, if we have a... Oh, wait, this is... Let me add an audio channel here. Okay, so we got an audio channel here, and you've usually got a couple of options when you're mixing. You can use a stereo pan. I'll zoom in here. So it looks like, oh, I need to start that again. Maybe I do it from here. Yeah, okay. So we've got this stereo pan, right? So it's bleeding over to both sides from wherever you're actually putting the knob versus a balance mode where you can kind of put it on one side or the other, right? So it's not falling over to the other side quite as much. But in a stereo mode, oftentimes you can actually affect the width of operation. So it doesn't have to be just to one side. So something like this, or maybe some clever EQ work in conjunction with some panning work could help you kind of really dial in the isolation of those two sounds. And then I think the whole track actually feels just a little bit better because those two things occupy a great deal of our attention span up there, and it is taking up a fair bit of space. So if you reduce the kind of pressure that they're under with the compression limiting, and kind of wrangle their position just a little bit, both of them, I think it's going to feel better. Blaze of Beat says, dude, I love this song. Syndromic is here. How you doing, homie? Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. Blazin says, you caught me in my prime, or in prime me before all the weed and fuck it gets into my system. Oh, man. You are welcome, Dragonleaf. I hope it all resonates with you, homie. Steely. Chat and strategy. I have no idea if I'm actually saying any of that properly. It might be so much more eloquent than that, you know. Chaton stroche. I don't speak French. I know. Classically trained chef and don't speak French. How about that? It's all right. Life goes on. Strat edge. Ah. All right. Well, there we go. Mystery solved. The Syndromic says, French. Playson says, I live in the hood, so the fuck it gets into my system fast at times. Yeah, I feel that. All right, let's do this, Steely. Oh, we got video. Alta Vista.
She's got
Toodles. Okay, the Toodles at the end is flippin' adorable, and I love it. I dig this. I dig this. It's got a certain kind of raw punk appeal to the whole thing, and the pink. It's flashy. I dig it. I dig it. I like that you're a multi-instrumentalist getting stuff done. Nice glitch action in there. Yeah, I think Toodles is perhaps the best closing salute we've heard in a track on a Friday in a while, right? Yeah, right? That was great. Yeah. I mean, everybody here knows that I have a deep appreciation for the more raw stuff, and anything that's intentionally tilting in that direction, I err on the side of not giving feedback that's giving you reason to go in there and start being destructive, right? And cleaning things up just a little bit too much, right? Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Zendremic says, I'll be upset if we don't hear more. Yeah, I dig this. I would like to hear more, like a greater body of work with this, and then give some feedback on a couple of the things that I would think that like could maybe improve the overall like delivery of this. It's EQ work and nothing else. I think everything in this stands pretty strong. It's really good stuff. It's solid. Definitely do not stop doing this. And did you do the video work too? You're just like a one person show over there with friends. It's great. Kyan, it's you, homie. No, I didn't do the video. I asked someone. Okay, cool. Blazin says, not gonna lie, with the name you have, I was expecting a lady's voice, but man, if it isn't damn good shit, I love it. I agree with OhmLab. And Zendremic says, I'm jelly to be honest. Jay the Don's here. How you doing, homie? Welcome in. Happy Friday. Her name is Void Avoidance, the video maker. Nice, nice. Aika, welcome in. Happy Friday. Everybody's showing up. Hey, really quick, if Rich is still in the room, Scruffy Rico has started a new thing. Drop another link in the chat if you are. I don't know if I can scroll up and find it if you're not. But I want to keep turning people on to this. If I can find it, I'm going to repost it. Or someone else can find it and repost it. Oh, there it is. chromafields.com. All right, so here's one thing to spam the chat with. And the other thing, just really quick, before we jump into the next track, I want to make sure that I'm including as many folks as possible, because I know a lot of people have expressed interest in this. I'm going to put a little invite link into the chat. And this is for our public Slack community. And the reason I'm putting this here is because we're going to announce the early access to the new Sounds app there. So if you want to get in early and get a bunch of really awesome, like thousands of awesome free sounds and stuff when this thing kicks off, then kick around the idea of joining the Slack. I will also let you guys know here and on the Discord. But for everyone that wants kind of in as soon as the gates open, go hit the Discord, the Slack, and we'll let everybody know there when it drops. We'll probably start granting people access next week, I would imagine. It's really just that close. So, Kyan, it is you. Class in session. Trapidemics 101. Pro button pusher. Oh, Kaya just signed up. Oh, and also, I know, Audio Design Desk is Mac only, right? I feel like I hit that button a lot, but all of the other products are not, right? So the Sounds app and all of the new tools that we've just developed that connect to it and are living inside of it, those are all universal. So there will be a website and a downloadable app that you can browse through. So it'll be dope. I'll see you all there. Kyan, this is you. Oh, Blazing Beats for the we're gonna open up beta access, like early access, for the new Sounds app for the new marketplace, which also gets you access to the full Daddy version of SoundGen, and it also gets you access to our stem splitter tool, social sharing, a whole bunch of other things. Lots of really good stuff. So anyway, if you wanna track where we are with all of that, hit the Slack. All right, Kyan, let's do this. Trapidemics. Look at this. There's is this money falling out of speakers? I think so. Money flying out of speakers. Here we go.
Epidemics 101 is Stack or Starve. Alien Rave, you know who it is. Keep the laser gun tucked. That's Trapidemics 101, fool.
Dude, there's some cool stuff in here. I like the tremolo on the pad, right? It kind of goes well with the whirly keys. The horns are tight. The organ is a good choice. I feel like it could use a little humanization. Same with the beat and the horns. The beat is solid. I think it would hit harder if some of the elements were a bit off the grid, so it wasn't fully just like dun, 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 right? It feels like this one might be worth going back in and making small adjustments, get a little humanization in there. Horns can use a little variety. Go back in and fiddle with the velocity a little bit, right? So it's like Velocity up where it is right now, every other hit, every other one is down, say 20, 30%, maybe 35%. And then there can even be little panning differences. If you think about like a horn section, they would be doing this, right? The guys with the trombones be like, bah, 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 bah. Trumpets, right? They're all into it. And all of that kind of gives you like this kind of bop and sway. That's why people go and like find these old school recordings and grab the samples from them, because like all these little nuances are super awesome for the feel, for the groove. Yeah, Jay the Dawn is liking this one, saying horns are sick, drums are sick, nuts. It's all fire. Blazin says, Cayenne, this one's got me bopping, fam. Blazin says, so from what I read there, you think he should have a bit more swing on the drums. It doesn't necessarily need to be swing on the drums, just off the grid. Right now, if you were to take all the swing away from a beat, and if everything lines up exactly on the numbers, then there isn't a whole lot of human inflection or variety in it, right? And I'm a drummer. If I sit down, I'm an out of shape old drummer, right? So if I sit down, I'm totally not going to play like a robot, right? There's going to be a lot of variation. And me personally, I love human variation because that's where the comes from, right? Like that's where you start to get the stank face. It's like when those notes are hitting at just the right time instead of right on time. You know what I mean? So anyway, take away all the swing, all of that conversation aside. If everything comes back to unity, then we need a little bit more variation, right? So same thing with the velocity on the horns. And the organ. Like if everything is equal all the time, it doesn't feel very human. So this is a really good beat. And normally I wouldn't critique all of this to this degree on your stuff, because your stuff is so like I've said before, kind of like Saturday morning cartoons for me, right? Super easy to digest. They're lots of fun, but this one really hits. So I would go back in and make these tiny changes and kind of treat yourself, because when you bounce an updated version, you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? With all of these tiny little changes, this feels more organic or alive, right? Like the things are really kind of responding to each other in the mix. So that's what I say. That's what I say. Oh, Iron Imp is here. How you doing, homie? Ooh, Disney Channel night. Have fun. Happy Friday. Was watching an interview. Iron Imp is saying, I was watching an interview with Stevie Wonder's studio tech engineer, one of two of them. Afraid I forget the fellow's name, but he assembled this massive modular called Tonto. Oh yeah, I remember. Got to play it with Stevie after his Motown contracts were up from 69 to 74. Yeah. Yeah, Saf got to see Front 242 last weekend, so still riding that. Far Horizon's here. How you doing, Far Horizon? Happy Friday, homie. Welcome in. It was good to see you, my friend. Lude. Ludi is here. And we all know that Nicholas has probably brought something near perfect here. I'm doing all right. Horizon. Iron Imp is jelly. Yeah. Jay the Dawn, I like this comment. Panning is dope in general. Yeah, I agree. Give a little love to the stereo spectrum. Right? I think everybody might be just a little bit jealous of Saf seeing Front 242 this last week. Ludi is saying the track is work in progress and without a break. Why are we even clicking on this then? Why? Should I actually click on this? I joke, of course. This one's called Shootout. Pew, 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 pew. Yo, dude, this is really freaking solid. Really freaking solid. Like there's so much energy in this. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm still kind of absorbing, honestly. Really great throbbing energy throughout this entire thing. It's just gonna slay. In the clubs, it's just gonna absolutely brutally crush. It's gonna be on all the playlists. I know there's work to do. I know there's work to do too. So let's talk about the work. Wait a minute. Wanting more from the kids in this? No. Wanting more from the mids in this. The kids were all right. But the meat of the words were elusive. So if they actually hit, then I think that whole moment hits with some actually emotion in there instead of just, cool. This moment right here, 150, when everything is humming and the whole mix is hot, it's really something. You can really just kind of feel there's like this palpable sense of the club here. At 230, love this little subtle drifting downward, dragging us all the way down. Would love to hear a reversed snare for a suck back transition at 257. I feel like it would really kind of seal that. 319, kind of wanting a little call and response routine here. This one I kind of felt strongly. There's this really awesome moment. It carries for what, like 30, 40 seconds or something, right? So we can totally get in there and get just a little something. And it can be really organic. But there's like da, 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 right? But there can be just a little responsive like or something, right? On the other side of it. It'd be cool. And it could be off to the other side. Timbre could be up just a little bit and kind of withdrawn. I don't know. I think it'd be like super funky, super dance floor funky. Mm. Nice. Iron Imp is in nostalgic mode here, saying, I went to a Power Noise Festival saturation bombing in Toronto, brought in acts from all over the globe for a Friday to Sunday festival across different venues. I think it did me some hearing damage, but it was worth it. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Yeah, Far Horizon is saying some really nice delays, so much potential here. I agree. I think this one is super tight. This is one of the uh, best originals you've brought through in a minute. It's good. Yeah, all the Ants and Hyman Records sort of artists. Yeah, absolutely. Ludi, thank you so much for the ear candy, sir. I feel like I just got a freebie there. Playson's really getting into the dance floor imaginary zone here. This is awesome. Danny's here. What's up, Danny? I'm imagining it in the chat. Everybody follow him. Click on the links. Danny, you should drop some links because I just said people should click on the links. So yeah, there should be links there. And scroll up and find the links that I dropped just a bit ago for the website that Scruffy Rico made. It might actually still be here. Nope, but the Slack invite is. I'll leave that there. Anybody wants info on the early access on the new Sounds app next week, join the public Slack over there and we'll help you keep up with that. Far Horizon. This one is called Degradation. I'm already very much looking forward to this. Yo, okay, this is really, really nice. I think this is a like a transportation, like a teleportation device disguised as a song, because it takes you places. Seriously, like right out the gate. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely soup. Truly, this surface texture is just like, you know what I mean? I'd love to feel a little subtle transition whoosh there at 127, such something short and sweet, or maybe even a simple flyby, kind of like a page turning. 207, this rapid fire perk ARP is so great. I wish there was less competition for it in this very moment. Can you imagine if there was kind of a bold mixing choice made here? Like, even if there was like a short cutout where all that remained was that rapid fire ARP, it'd be cool to find a way to allow it to peekaboo on its own for just a brief moment. 257, just lovely. I feel like also this spot is maybe just a little bit too bright for some folks, for some systems. Might want to look at what kind of frequencies you can pull out of the upper frequencies across all the tracks right here, or where I think the real problem is kind of sourcing or sourced from is the water is the source of the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. My words aren't working. It's a little bit spicy, right? So maybe if you were to soothe the water just a little bit and balance it a little bit more volume wise, it might fit in there just a little bit less harshly in those upper frequencies. Really, really dig the palette of this one. It feels like it has this upward energy. Oh, I'm saying the word upward. It makes me remember I didn't actually type this out. It would be nice to have just a little bit more upward compression, like this expansive feel on the drums themselves. There's this this really awesome clarity and kind of surgical appeal to them, or like everything is very, very precise. And if there was just this kind of essence that sat above them, it'd be really great. You can accomplish it in a couple of different ways without actually having to dip into a bunch of compression. You can kind of create like a little halo above them, if you will, with just a little ambience. And then also just in general, it'd be also really nice just to hear a little less loudness derived from limiting and compression and a little more from saturation, because it'd be great to feel just a little bit more space between some of the sounds. Not a ton. I don't feel like it sounds overcompressed or anything. More just the amount of distance between some of the sounds at times. This is really, really nice. It's always good to hear you, Far Horizon. Yeah, the water is quite spicy. Jay the Dawn says, did y'all even know that it was me who invented the schnitzel in Germany? Jay the Dawn, I had no clue. No clue. How old are you? I mean, schnitzels, it's going back a ways. That was your younger days. Back when you were just a young old whippersnapper. Benny's got game. This one's called With You. Let's listen. Happy Friday, Benny. My man here reinventing the wheel. No need to reinvent the wheel. I bet Jay the Dawn did that ages ago. Thank you, Jay the Dawn. Yo, Samsung. I see you. Welcome in, homie. Uncle Miles, welcome in. Yeah, the house switch up there at the end. A lot of different cool textures and shapes kind of being woven. Is that the right word? Woven together, I think. Kind of weaving. And it all kind of fits together. There are points where I'm hearing kind of multiple bass elements, and I wish there was a little bit tighter EQ on those. When you've got multiple things popping off in the mix at the same time, and they share this low end presence, it's good to pick one that can maintain the low end, the sub frequency low end presence, and then set the other, like there's like maybe 2 or 3 at one point, set the other 2 up a bit. And so you shave off those lowest frequencies, you allow one to keep the right? And everything else is a little bit lighter and really kind of helps feed that kind of nimble dance energy that we're aiming for. Okay, so this looping bright synth 137, it's in the background. It's off to the right just a little bit. I feel like it can be varied a little bit over time. It's just looping, and a lot of other changes are happening for other things in the mix. So give it a little bit of love, maybe just a little retriggering or something, spice it up. Cool flow at 223. The house change up at the end kind of sealed the deal for me. Aside from trying to shave off a little bit more low end where you can in a busy mix like this, I think this one's actually sitting in a pretty good place for the number of characters in here. It's fun. It's got a lot of like lively energy in it. Some folks just walked in. Samsung Orange Ringtone, welcome in. Happy Friday, brother. And Bubble Miles is here. Welcome in. Benny Games, appreciate you. Thank you. Samsung Orange Ringtone. I don't know why Siri doesn't just autocomplete your name for me yet. Be nice. All right, this one's called Been Like This. Crusoe, welcome in. Happy Friday, homie. Hope you're well. Let's get it.
Cute and she's classy, thick, bold and sassy. She knows what she doing, she knows when she's I know it's hard to imagine, but why you keep asking like all this came out of the blue? But I've been like this, I've been like this. Run your mouth, but I'm on your lips, ain't nothing new. Still that bitch, cause I've been like this. Been like this, been like this. Take your shots while I blow a kiss, ain't nothing new. Still that bitch, cause I've been like. Baby, I want you to shake a little, wake a jiggle. Put that thing in the middle for making it visible. Cause you doing it just the way I like. And you can't fool me, I know exactly what you wanna do to me. Now baby, you just gonna make me act up on this flight. We gon' ride first class to heaven. Your hands all over this legend. Don't stress, baby, that's just the way that I do. Tripping over these Grammys, but who needs to stand when that reservation got levitation for two? We go it up, cause I've been like this, I've been like this. Talk that smack right among your lips, like I'm money to the ceiling, girl, I'm filthy rich. Cause I've been like this. I've been like this. Talk that smack right among your lips, and ain't nothing new, just me and my bitch. Cause I've been like this. I'm a pop star, I'm a wifey, put an X for my name, feeling like that. Now the thing you do excites me, I'ma have to get a little bit spicy.
Oh! Samsung. Thank you. It should have been longer. I'm just saying it should have been longer. I mean, technically, it got cut off, so it should be longer. You should bring us more. I think you kind of owe us for that, right? Don't you guys think? Shouldn't we get one more because of that or something? I don't know. This is really good. The mix, dude. The mix. And all the little touches, like these timbal rolls and like, something kind of went there for a second at 134, something a little bit overblown in that one spot. If you go back there and zero in there, you'll probably find it. Something a little beefy. Yeah, this one just has like that energy of like kick some sand into the air and enjoy the sun, damn it, you know? How long did this one take you? That's what she said? Yeah, I think so. I think she was wearing a bikini and there's like arms flailing when she said it. And yeah. I'm envisioning people like taking pictures. It's probably like a photo shoot for some freaking orange juice or bottled water or something. The scene, not the song. The song cannot be contained. So it's definitely not a juice commercial kind of song. This is more like a island getaway hype kind of thing. It's freaking lovely, man. Seriously? Is anybody else still kind of buzzing from this track? Whew. Sorry, I'm kind of dragging my feet here. I'm trying to clear the air a little bit before we do this next one. Jay the Dawn sings on this one. This one's called Hieroglyphics. Let's get it. Oh, it's really fast to make. Nice, Samsung. A couple of hours. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. A couple of hours? Man, you get into a groove over there, don't you? Okay, here we go. Jay the Dawn, Hieroglyphics. Yo, this one's fire. This one's great. I love the vocal work in there. Super ghostly. I think it can come up. Super common for people when they start putting in their own vocal stuffer to just be kind of hidden. Don't be shy. Bring that stuff up. It sounds great. I like the rawness of this guy. There's like a couple of things that I would change. I love the groove. Don't touch anything in your piano roll. Just keep everything where it is in the arrangement window. It's all good. 44 seconds. Ghostly sample up. Bring low end cutoff up to around 38 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve. That's just for like the entire track. And then sub frequencies between 20 and 40 hertz. Bring them down about 7 dB. And then check this. Listen to the very end of it on a couple of different playback systems. Right now, it's significantly louder than it needs to be. So it's actually going to create a little bit of havoc in some playback systems. Others will be okay. Some of them not so much. So I'd bring those down about 7 dB. It's going to end up being kind of distorted and muddy in some systems. The best way to do this is to set your cut first. So you would set it like this. And then the next thing would be using a shelf. And you just bring the shelf down the number of dB you want. So we're going to shoot for like 7 or so here to begin with. It might be as many as like 8, 10, 12 even. But let's set it at like 7 or so and just kind of bring it down to that realm so you can see what this actually ends up looking like. So this is a different, you're really kind of paying attention to this light blue part of the curve here. Okay, let's maybe even make this just a little bit bigger. We're looking at this light blue part. If we turn off the shelf, see how much of a jump there is there? And then you'll notice that here, all of the audible part of the sub-bass frequency range is basically untouched. It's unscathed. So using a shelf like that is a really good way to not cut out all of the sub-frequencies, but to tame them a little bit so the rest of your track can kind of breathe a little bit and come out a little bit more powerful, a little bit more impressive. It's the way. All right. Yeah, Iron Imp says, really good side chaining. Sounds good, gritty, but in a nice way. I like that it's on the verge of almost gating out other sounds, and the crackling is pleasing. I agree with all that. Oh, yep, exactly. Yeah, Iron Imp, I think, is feeling the same kind of thing. He says, and bear in mind that, well, a few dB here and there might not seem like much. Perceptually, it's times 2. It's true. It's true. These things always add up to be so much more than they really are on their own. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is usually the point at which I check, so you know. I think we're okay if anybody wants to drop a second one in the queue. I see Benny's already got another one in here. If anybody else has brought more than one, I know it's a possibility. I was gone on vacation for a little bit. Oh, and speaking of, for those who have just kind of walked in recently, I'm talking about doing a special feedback stream on Monday next week because it's my birthday with a special guest too, I think. So bring your A game. Bring some stuff. I think we're going to have a little party. We might put up a little extra something in the subscriber rewards bin for everybody that day. There might be extra packs floating around. Ika, it's your birthday on Monday? We're twinsies? You know what? Birthday weekend moment. Why don't you go over to the website and just pick something out? You tell me what you've picked out. Okay? You go to the website, you pick something out. All right, so let's do this. This one's called Not Funk 2. Hey, thank you, Iron Imp. Yeah, seriously, go to the website, pick something out. We celebrate birthdays here. This is great. You know, there's like serious wham energy in this. I don't normally like call out specific bands and like make comparisons because I don't really like all that. But this one has like such a very specific vibe to it. It's also just got like some really high quality, like disco homage stuff going on in general. But seriously, like really nailed the wham energy there. Hands up kind of music. The sub can come down a fair bit at 145. It kind of dominates. It kind of felt to me like maybe you don't have the best sub monitoring in your production situation over there. So I would recommend like getting a visual meter open when you make this change so you can kind of correlate visually what you're seeing and what you're able to hear. And you might even want to bounce both versions and listen to them on a couple of different playback systems too, just to kind of get a better sense of exactly how much impact that those low frequencies have on the music. Okay, so that out, I would just say start with it about 8 dB down, bringing the sub down, and also move the low end cutoff up to 45 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve. Keep it gentle. It feels to me like your bass, your cutoff can be right about here. And right now it feels like it's probably down here or so. And when you move it up here, it's going to feel much tighter. The whole mix will feel tighter. You might even be able to move it all the way up to 60. Keep in mind, you're still going to have frequencies down here that are being heard and felt. They're just going to be heard and felt less. That's all. But start with the reduction, the decibel reduction first, and then move into the EQ cut. So that way you're hearing it in a better context, in a more supportive role. 235, I really like this guitar loop. I think it really adds a bunch to the whole vibe. It'd be fun to remix it a touch or re-trigger it or re-sequence it in a spot, just one spot, not all over the place, and nothing too wild, like no big scratching or anything. Just a little something to make people go, wait, whoa, what just happened there? Because people will actually listen to the whole song to find that thing again. And it's fun to embed little things like that for your listeners. So, ooh. Rave is saying, hey, I'm just sitting here quietly listening and learning, but this made me put my head up, so I had to say something. This got me moving. Amazing job. That's great stuff. Yeah, Blazing is saying straight up wham. Man, it brings me back. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, you are welcome. You always get it honest here. And seriously, if you pick out something from the website, I'll send it to you. Just send me a DM on Discord. It's all good. Happy birthday, by the way. Benny, it is you again. This one's called Rush. Yo, Benny, this is great. It's very close to being done, I think. 20 seconds in, you've got this really heavy anticipation vibe thing cooking. It's nice. I'd bring the lufts down in general just a bit. It's not like going to break speakers or anything. It's just that it'd be nice to be able to turn this one up a little bit. This feels like about maximum volume for it. It'd be nice to be able to turn this up a little bit. Low end cutoff up to 40 hertz, 12 dB per octave. Sub down 6 to 8 dB. Listen to it again after that. Listen with a critical ear. Just be honest with yourself. Be careful distorting frequencies below 50 hertz, as they can oftentimes introduce a level of difficulty in mixing and be fatiguing for listeners. 144. I think this is missing one element right here. It's not really missing. It's just not represented as clearly as maybe it could be. I hear a faint shot at the end of this kind of reload sequence, but it could be more prominent, perhaps even layered with something else, just to kind of increase the velocity and the impact of the whole thing. If you've left it ducked out like that intentionally, then by all means, artistic choice. That's what I got for you. Yeah, Iron Imp. Correct. Snappy track just needs a little mix cooking. EQ. Iron Imp says, I distort my envelopes. Now that is a bumper sticker. Benny, hope it all vibes with you. Helps you make it even better. Crusoe. Happy Friday, homie. It's you. Let's go. Okay, Crusoe, this is magic. This is why working with art or working with audio is one of the most like endless and open art forms there is, right? Like just manipulating audio in ways that are fun and creative. All of that energy translates directly back into the sound, and I feel like you've really captured it. It's liberated, it's light, and the palette is super fun. But I also think that the palette itself is telling you that it wants tighter EQs on things. In this opening bit, just in the intro, you might have stuff in there that could look a little something like this even on a few of the tracks, right? These tiny little thin shimmering sounds, these frequencies that pile up across these sounds that are mostly bright and airy. These frequencies that build up down here, that kind of translates as like this kind of pressure. And then when everything gets compressed or made louder through limiting, we kind of reach this artificial point of loudness with these higher frequencies. I'm talking about this stuff up here, this really high energy, high frequency stuff. And when that stuff gets pushed above its natural limits, it kind of teeters on. For some people, it can be kind of annoying or taxing. Some people, it can even be just a little bit painful. So you have to be kind of careful with loudness and brightness, especially when you've got a few different things layered. So go in there, and a couple of elements in your mix might have this kind of muted appeal to a couple of the higher frequency elements, and some of them you might even back all the way back to like a 6 dB per octave. So you're just kind of just barely shaving some of those higher frequencies off and not upsetting the timbre and the kind of airy quality that you're going for here. Hey, Sirius is here. Aw, Sirius is saying, it's always a happy Friday when OhmLab, who does the best music feedback streams in all of Twitch, is here for our service. Sirius, I appreciate you, homie. Happy Friday. I was just telling the rest of the gang, I think we're probably going to do a special pop-up feedback stream on Monday, because it'll be a birthday stream. So show up for that. It'd be good to have you here. What else do we have here in our queue? Oh, no, I'm not even done with this. 45 seconds, really fantastic transition and wonderful aesthetic to land in. I really love the muted guitar, keeping pace. It's a really wonderful way to land after that intro. I would say that if you were to go back and listen to that transition, there is this kind of breakthrough moment that happens. And stay with me here. If you had the sound of something busting through some brush, so like a bush, like coming out the other side of a bush, right? Imagine this like little whoosh, this kind of like release type sound, like that type of a sound being, or like this unfurling maybe, that being pushed through some bright verb would feel really lovely. It'd be this kind of open and expansive, this kind of upwardly expansive kind of feeling. Might feel extra delicious there. 114, this brilliant sense of wonder, discovery, and hope is sitting here in this moment. Watch out for the high frequency buildup. That's what we were talking about before. Mid-high bloat is just kind of what happens when there's a bunch of different stuff happening in the same frequency range, and it oftentimes happens just above 500 hertz, around between like 1K and 4K. Kind of hear it quite a bit. That's it. That's it. It feels very wondrous, this one. Bubble Miles. Will I turn 25? Sirius is looking for points today, huh? Will I turn 25? I might. We'll have to see. We'll have to see when the clock strikes whatever. If I actually level up to 25 yet, or if I shall remain the same. Bubble Miles. Stop correcting me, Siri. Thank you. Come back to me. That's what this one's called. Danny says, OhmLab, would it be cool to send in a visualizer I've just put out for one of the tracks on Duality? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Please do. Places says, what do we have to do? Cut the man in half and count the rings? Smoke rings, perhaps. I really enjoy the noise in this one synth specifically. I think you know which one I'm talking about. This guy here. It's lovely. In fact, I kind of want it to be a dominant player throughout. Although it wouldn't have that impact, right? If we didn't just have that one stripped down kind of intimate moment with it. But if there was a little bit less competition from the drums and the stabs, I think we'd be at a little bit better balance for it, because I think that the noise and timbre of that synth really it really builds on the overall aesthetic of the track. So if it were a bit more present in the mix, yeah, it's a balance. It is a balance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One other thing that you can play with is allowing it to persist in the mix just a little bit more in a couple of spots, right? Where you do these kind of splashes or these swells where you allow just your decay or your delay effect to actually have an effect on the mix for just a few seconds here and there, right? So you have kind of like these passing echoes, the same way that maybe isolated cars might pass you by on a pretty empty road, you know. That might feel really good here. I might get some good feelings cooking. I don't really have much else to critique on this one. It just feels good. It feels like brain candy. No, I don't really feel like there's mistakes in the mix or that there's anything missing in the mix. I know it can sometimes feel a little disappointing when you hear me blather on for 10 minutes on someone's track, then we get to yours and I'm like, well, there isn't actually a lot to work on here. But it's a lot of compliments, really, because otherwise I'd be pointing out several different things that were kind of bumping me. But this, the aesthetic and the alignment of all of your choices in here, they all feel in alignment, like they all kind of coincide in the right ways. So I feel brain candy is nice, right? I feel like you have achieved the goal, right? We, I think, are hearing this in the ways in which you would hope that we would hear this. That's it. A+ Bubble Miles and a gold star. Can someone please put a gold star on Bubble Miles' chart for today? Thanks, class. Ruben. R, to be specific. This one's called Stay. Hey, big compliments indeed. Well, it's great music. You know what I mean? And every song has stopping points. It's just really hard for us as artists sometimes to get the distance needed to identify when we found the right stopping points, etc. That's nice to hear when other people can chime in and say, yeah, that was a good stopping point, man. It's good. You stopped well. That would actually be a really great compliment to give a producer in the modern age, of kind of having this huge laundry list of things that you're responsible for, right? Not that many years ago, if you made music with people, you had responsibility of one thing. Like, you played the drums or you laid down the bass line. That was it. That's like where your job ended. Now it's like this huge laundry list of things to do. Maybe a nice compliment would be like, nice stopping, man. Nice stopping. Like, way to stop. This is Ruben.
What could I say? 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 for you to stay. What could I say?
tried my very best, and it pushed me to the edge. I got you attached, but my heart attached. Now you're tugging on the strings. I'm an addict to the past. I wanna make it right, but I'm trying everything. And if I had one chance, then what could I say for you to stay? What could I say? I want you to stay. It feels like hell on earth if you're not around. If I could say one thing to you, would you hear me out? 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 What could I say for you to stay? What could I say? I want you to stay.
Yeah, Ruben's saying this is out only on SoundCloud at the moment. I think you can move it from SoundCloud out into the wild. Like, this is great. It's lovely. I think it's well mixed. I don't want you to change things. I think that if a bunch of hormonal teenagers knew that this song existed and you tried to change it, they would be very upset. This is one of those songs that will be an anthem for a lot of teenagers. Not that it doesn't have value outside of that. I'm just saying that every once in a while, a song comes along and you're like, yep, this is one of those songs. This is one of those songs. Definitely. Yeah. Can't you just imagine a gymnasium full of kids awkwardly slow dancing with each other to this song? Experiencing love for the first time? Blazing. This one's called Spirit Echo. Angsty teen anthem, right? Okay, Blazin, can we just talk a minute about a couple of things here? One, your palette, and two, your mix. They're both on fire. Like, you're obviously going through some level ups right now, and you're obviously putting a lot of thought into what you're doing. But honestly, like, I really love the exploration. I really love the exploration that you're on right now. And like I can hear very clearly that you are listening really, really well right now. And I feel like you're being incredibly honest with yourself about what it is you're hearing, and what distance there is between what you're hearing and where you want to be. I can hear all of it. I can hear this kind of triangulation process happening in your music right now, and it's great. It's absolutely great. And did you notice everybody's reaction in the chat too? Like, everybody else can feel all of this stuff. So just big ups, dude. This is freaking great. Big ups. Level up. Okay, so vocal up in the beginning. I think all of the really dramatic vocal work in the second half of the track is just great, exactly where it is. At 50 seconds, EQing out just a touch more of the highest frequencies in the kick to achieve like a little bit more of a cottony touch to it, I think would be absolutely fantastic idea. 206, lovely moment, really great timing with the sub rumble. This is easily one of the best things you've shown up with yet. Danny says, yeah, dude, that was a beautiful atmosphere. Yeah. Yeah, you are really, you're not just tuned in to yourself, like, you're obviously soaking up a lot of stuff around you right now. It's easily heard, like, you're soaking up knowledge and applying it. But there's something else. Like, you are on a mission. I can feel it. There's a growth in your music that is beyond just like knowledge being applied. There's some sort of kind of bubbling motivation or some sort of revelation about to happen. It feels like did this in a high as fuck super. Oh, maybe that's what it was. You were just like on a completely different level. What strain? Just out of curiosity. I'm curious as to what strain helped provide some of the muse for this endeavor. Sirius is here. Yeah, Indicas. Yeah, same. Yeah. I was rocking the all-in OG a bit this week, and it had been a minute, and I'll tell you what, highly productive and quite creative. I have no idea how many things I knocked out this week that I was not expecting to. It was nice. Indie Dabs with 97, 98. Yeah. So as long as it's on the right side of the spectrum, you're in. Got it. All right, so Sirius, this one is Neptune re-explored. Let's listen. Yo, serious, really, really solid work on this one. Really solid work. It feels nice. Like just the feeling of this thing is impressive. All right, so in the intro, the texture that's right in the LFO, it can have a little touch, a touch less reverb, detail in the reverb. So oftentimes you will see on a reverb this diffusion parameter, and if you diffuse the reverb signal on that channel specifically, I think you're going to like that a little bit more. It's going to give it a little bit more airy kind of appeal. Just really gorgeous all the way throughout. Like I could have written gorgeous so many different times. Nice choice with the hang drum there. Are there some subtle hand sounds in there from the recording? Or is it just two perks coinciding every once in a while? There's something in there. If you listen to just the drums, if there is a hand in there, you might want to take those out. If it's just the two perks coinciding, then it is what it is. Not much you can really do about it. Except for maybe affect the transients of one of them or something. A little transient master and smooth it a little. Really lovely level where you have the whisper now, although I feel like it could just cut through the mix a little bit more. If you add like 4 decibels, take out a little more of the low end frequencies, just high pass this thing, and then accent it a little bit around 5K. I think this thing feels now like it's whispering into our ear. It's just, instead of just whispering into the mix, if that makes sense. You can also set it off to one side at a fair degree. And it would also feel like someone's like whispering into one ear too. So a couple of things you can play with there to kind of increase the sense of the kind of intimate proximity effect. Yeah. Iron Imp is saying something similar, saying, I wish you could excite and maybe high pass the vocal samples a bit before the effects chain in parallel. Like Pro Q, Butterworth cut off around 4K or the equivalent, and then dry or mixed into the verb parallel-wise towards a sum. You're welcome, Sirius. I hope this all vibes with you. Helps you make it even better. The subtle hand sounds are added detail. It's sampled sounds from Omnisphere, but I added them for detail. Oh, okay. So then it might just be a timing thing, because I don't think that the sounds are bad. There's just a distraction thing. So it might just be my brain calling phooey on the timing of it, which is a very common thing, especially when you're adding sounds manually. It can be off by like just a fraction of what it actually would be in reality, and then our brains just somehow think that it translates as almost kind of cluttery, even when the sound itself is pleasing. So it's more of a timing delivery thing, perhaps. Yeah, extract groove and apply to the hand sounds. Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. Yeah, that would be my first guess. If they are hand sounds, but you've added them manually, then my guess is that you need to go back in there and kind of futz with the timing a little bit until they kind of fall into that pocket. You bet. Imagine it. Danny is here with a new visualizer for Embers, which, if you guys are not familiar with this track or the album that he released this last year, you've got to check it out. I don't think we're doing any feedback on this track here, because this is a fully released track. But we're going to watch this and enjoy it. I like that text intro there. This is dope. Danny. Wow. Man. This footage. This is so intense. Oof. 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 Man. Look at the slopes up there. You know, when you write music this epic, you've really got to go there if you're going to put visuals to it. You know? Oh, couch tracks. Merrick, we got you too. Really cool stuff, right? Yeah, it is a must. Cheers, Danny. Really good stuff, dude. So good. I've listened to the tracks so many times and still I get goosebumps and stuff, man. It's true. Couch. You're up. Trace Rondo. Let's see what this sounds like here. Yeah, couch. Let me get the volume back up here for everybody before I forget. Just really quick. All right, couch. Bring the volume down. Bring the LUFS down. It feels like this is like neg 6 or something, or maybe even louder. And it'd be really hard to convince me that this track would be better at anything louder than neg 10 LUFS. I think neg 10 is kind of pushing it on this one, probably. And if you do, then it's going to be easier for you to find ways to disclose some of these other sounds that are getting kind of gobbled up right now. Really great juggling. Is this all your own sound design? I should look at the chat here. It sounds like some Serum to me. Yes, all Serum. Cool. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good sound design, really good juggling. You're presenting all this stuff in a really solid way. I think the large majority of the EQ work is solid. I think you can shave off a little bit more of the low frequencies here and there throughout the entire litany of tracks in the project. I dig these stabs too. They were just tasteful, choice, classic. They are serving their function well. Okay, so you've got this funky perk. I lost track of the time stamps in this. It's in here. It's like around the 2.5 minute mark. I can't find it right this second. It's a super funky, cool little percussive rhythm, but it gets absolutely swallowed. It's almost impossible to hear the majority of the time where it's present, or that it is present. So hearing that makes me wonder if there's other things in the mix. Most likely there probably are that have kind of gotten run over in a way. So a couple things on this. Number one, we got to bring the LUFS down, I think. But number two, I think that perhaps you're limiting your compression should be done in batches, in groups. And right now it feels like everything is being done in one big unit. So I would kind of contain or group these things together, get all of your sound design stuff, all your basses into one group, get your drums into a different group, and then tighten these things up individually as groups instead of all together. Because all together, it's hard because you end up losing some stuff. You end up losing some stuff along the way. That's it. I think that's what I got for you. Crusoe says, I just got Serum. Hey, nice. Go grab some of my sounds. Couch says, I do use Phase Plant a lot too, but not on this track. Ooh, nice. Danny's got one more of these music videos coming out for Magnolia. Nice. Coming out next Thursday even. Nice. That's good. Awesome. Couch says, loudness currently is hard for me to nail at the moment. I'm on vacation in Hilton Head on the beach and don't have my sound system with just some headphones and JBLs. Oh, yeah. Just do this when you get home. That's all. It's a great track. Just do this when you get home. Just finish it. Vermilion, it's okay. It's okay. We run over. It's fine. Gotta respect Vixel. Zendremic saying, best place on Twitch. What? No, there's gotta be better places on Twitch. Man, I appreciate you. Bako, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. Maricatrice? Let's get past this preview here. Where am I going? I'm going here. Chromafields.com with a K. Check it out. This is something that Scruffy Rico is working on. I'm going to drop the link for this one. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste that here and say, click on that. Then we'll go here and we'll listen to this. All right, this one's called Waste Your Breath. Wait, what? Oh, right. Hold on a second. Spotify. I need to grab my link again. Where's my link? Where's my... Oh, Baco's got some in here too. Where are we? Where are we? There we go. Okay. I'm logged in over here, so we.
Just like my lover, you were just so I thought you were. Taking all my fleshy parts like cotton candy. Taking all my fleshy parts like cotton candy.
Yeah. Okay, is it Marikai? Mariki? This is great. It's a really original, unique palette of sounds. There's a lot of original, unique timbres kind of floating around, and your ideas, your stopping points are unique. It's great. It seems very fresh. Okay, so I wouldn't change Murakai. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. So I wouldn't change anything in the arrangement, anything in the writing. Just the mixing is the stuff that I would touch. And specifically, it's just the individual sounds. If you were to go through and listen to each one of your sounds very critically and figure out how much of the low and how much of the high you can remove from each sound, not even worrying about the middle of the sound for right now, but just how much extra frequencies you can remove in both directions, specifically and especially the low frequencies, to help clean up your mix. If you listen to well, pick a few of your favorite bands and download a few tracks and put them into the arrangement window and take a track or two of yours and sprinkle them in there. So you're going from one to the next, right? And maybe even try truncating the tracks, right? So instead of allowing the whole thing to play through, it's going to stop abruptly and switch to the next track abruptly, right? In an unexpected spot. So the reason why you might want to do an exercise like this is to, in kind of like jarring comparative way, identify through abrupt change in comparison what exactly is kind of starkly standing out, right? And I think what you would find in this is that there's a little extra low energy in a fair number of the sounds in the track, right? So if you were to go through and just kind of shave off a few extra frequencies with a very gentle EQ like this, that would really solve the large majority of that for you. So something to kind of keep in mind for future productions. And Baco saying, but that is hella nitpicky. It is excellent. And yes, that is absolutely correct. Really nice transition at 154. Got to call that one out. And fun panning play on the vocals. Really good use of the stereo field there. It's really good stuff. Vermilion, it is you. Let's do this. Okay. This is great. my biggest concern about this one is the fact that we can feel the peaks being compressed there at the end. It was kind of running into this wall, and that's like we finally reached this like fever pitch, and it's a little restrained, right? It doesn't feel more powerful. It feels on par with like a moment back here, which is, half a minute removed. And there is this kind of growing sense of more as we progress. So I feel like those two things are kind of at odds with one another. So the compression is what needs to be backed off of there, right? So you can actually hear each one of those peaks. So in other words, we're going to back up all the way back to the beginning of this thing and start quieter, right? Just bring the whole flipping thing down a little bit, right? So it's not actually peaking into getting itself throttled later on, right? So it's just going to increase the dynamic range just a little bit. Not a ton, but just a little bit. But you're going to protect those peaks at the very end. By the way, the rate of disclosure as this thing is climbing is really fantastic. And I think that somewhere Roku's ears were burning. At 153, this really felt like a great release. Like we had just made it to a summit and we just sailed right off the edge of the mountain or something. So 225, when you pick this back up with that ARP, it feels really, really good. Like you've just picked it right back up. Like you've just sailed off the top of a mountain and somehow like landed on skis and just kept going or something. And it's great. It feels great. A lovely, lovely accomplishment. Other than the compression biting into those peaks there at the very end, really, really good job managing all of the peaks as you're moving through this kind of progressive intensity build. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Sirius says, far from bad. Oh, man. Far from bad. Paul, take care, homie. Oh, Paul has put together... Paul, if you want to drop a link, you can. He's put together the latest episode of Flippity Bloop Theater, which I do believe is aired this weekend. So do tune in. Paul's got a fun YouTube channel, Uncle Chrome on YouTube. So if he's already gone, just Google Uncle Chrome and you'll find him on YouTube. All right. We've got Baco. Oh my gosh, there's more in here. You guys, we got a boogie. Let's listen to what Baco's doing here.
Walking down this lonely road, feeling empty from head to toe. Still seeing your face in the night.
Okay, 40 seconds in. I feel like the snare feels a little dry and isolated. Feels a little bit better in the mix when it's full, but still feels kind of dry and isolated. And it felt like maybe just a touch loud, like maybe just like a dB loud. Felt like just a little out of balance in a few different ways. So that's one. 114, the mid-range pad that's cooking at 114, is that just the bass pad? Like, do you just go up an octave and play it for a bit and then it just comes back down? Because if so, when it's up, it needs to come down in decibels, several dB, I think, because it's kind of poking out a bit too much. And then when it's operating as the bass pad, as the long sustained notes, I feel like it's a bit buzzy. It's grabbing a little bit too much of the ear above 1K. So if you were to take just really super gentle and roll off those top frequencies like this on that guy, somewhere down to about here, I bet this thing feels like butter in the mix, because you're still going to have the same tone and timbre. You're just not going to have the kind of pokiness that's cooking right around here in this sound. It might be a little bit more satisfying in the mix there. Got good results from the AI vocals. Definitely looking forward to hearing what the real life vocals sound like in comparison. And there was this thing that was happening, and then it was disclosed at the very end at 3:33. There's this rapid clapping, and I think it's running. I think it's in the track. I think it's. Oops. I think it is. That. And it's spread out to the side in reverb, and I think that maybe it just needs to go away. The other thing here, just in this last moment, there were a couple of things that felt like they weren't quite fully touched in this. One of them is this synth, the ADSR. If we were to just really quickly just pull up a synth, it kind of sounds like the ADSR, looks a little bit like this actually, like this main envelope right here. But if it had just a little bit more shape to it, you know, like if it actually went through a little bit of decay and it had just a little bit more release on it, I think that synth feels better in general. And then it wouldn't feel, it feels just a little bit rigid in its current state. So I think mixing those few fixes, back in, I think should help. Divas, we got, you know what? We've got this one more. I see talk of another track going in, but we got to bounce. We were supposed to cut it off an hour ago, but we're going to listen to this from Diva, and then we're going to drop you guys off somewhere. So start thinking about who we should raid here in just a moment. And for everyone who has been sitting on a track and did not put it into the queue, come back on Monday, because we're going to have a special birthday stream, a special feedback birthday stream with a special guest on Monday. And it'll absolutely be worth showing up for. All right, this one's from Maze, and it's called Next to Me.
Sleep
All right, Maze. I think it's a great sound. It feels nice throughout the intro and the full mix hits. It's feeling good, although the sidechain ducking is biting a bit deep. It could be offset just a little bit more organically across the individual tracks. Okay, so set up each track individually with the sidechain to make it feel a little bit better, less predictable, and not cut into as much of each sound. Watch out for resonance when doing filter sweeps down low. And claps can come up just a touch. The other thing that I'm hearing, I'm kind of split on, so I'll just say you might want to do a little A-B comparison of turning up that bass synth a couple of dB throughout the entire mix and see what you think. I think that's it. That's it for me. We've run over by quite a bit, so we are going to bounce, and we are going to go visit Brightside Movement, who is making a chat integrated MIDI game currently. It looks like they've got a guest here, so we're going to go visit. I appreciate you guys. I will see you on the other side of the weekend. It'll be my birthday. We'll do a special feedback stream. We'll have a special guest, and there will probably be special downloads and stuff. So I'll see you there. Appreciate you. Peace out.